I can say they are very, very commendable because, it has been a difficult period, whereby getting the loan book to grow has been very difficult. So to be able to achieve that kind of performance relative to last year, I think it's been a lot of hard work, but also it's been supported by our diversification program. As I noted, there's a lot of contribution coming from the non-funded segment, mainly, FX trading. So because of that, we managed to boost our performance, quite significantly, and also the diversity of our business model. That helps a lot in terms of going through difficult times.
Now let's take a look at your strategy, which is hinged on diversity. You're strong in asset financing as well as on retail banking. How has the growth been on this area?
We have got what we call pioneer status in terms of asset finance. When we got established in 1959, then only two institutions used to do asset finance, us and the other one. And because of that, we have gained a lot of goodwill from customers. Today, if you go to some of the biggest transporters, for example, they will tell you that, any need for asset finance, the first stop is NIC Bank. Now, to support customers who are asking for asset finance, what we've done also is to invest in technology. For example, we introduced something we call Omni-Flow system, which allows a customer to submit an application anywhere in the country, have that application scanned, and sent electronically to head office. And then head office does the actual appraisal, and the decision to lend or not to lend is made within 48 hours. Now, that is way, way above any benchmark ever achieved in that sector. So because of that, we have a lot of goodwill for customers. They are very loyal, and therefore, despite the difficult times, they've still been coming to us.
And what about the growth in retail banking, Mr. Macharia?
Retail banking, also we came into that segment 2003 in a very sort of aggressive way through the move, offering. And because of that, it's been growing very, very fast. And so that has contributed to the overall performance of the bank.
Moving on, James, NIC Bank has announced that it's coming to the market to raise 2 billion shillings through a rights issue, and it wants to do this by issuing 98 million new shares. What is the purpose for these funds?
We are doing it because we have now decided to go regional. 5 years ago, we are not in any country other than Kenya. Now we are in 3 countries. And as you know, those countries are also growing fast. Those subsidiary companies we have set up, they require capital for growth. So that is one reason. The other reason is technology. Technology will be the differentiating factor for banks into the future. If you don't have a good platform in which to launch your banking products, you'll certainly be left behind. The system we have been using now is about 11 years. And so it was coming to the end of the shelf life. Other than going to another system, which will not take us very far, we decided to go into a system which can serve us in the next 20 years. Hence the money we are spending for this, this new investment.
And of course, the second time you come into the market through a rights issue, you had a similar one in 2007 when you raised 1.2 billion shillings. How has this helped your operations?
A lot, actually, because when we came to the market in 2007 for the 1.2 billion, which we were looking for that time, our total balance sheet was about 35 billion, total balance sheet, all assets, lending, treasury, everything. Now, that capital has allowed us to grow to 90 billion as of now, which, as you can see, was very big contribution in terms of supporting the growth of the bank. That time, I think we had just about 8 branches. Now we have about 20 branches. Now, branches, of course, they take capital. During the same period, we've opened 3 subsidiary companies, 2, in the region, in Tanzania and Uganda. So you can say that we have even achieved more than was expected.
Now, lately there have been a focus by banks on agency banking as a risk for customer deposits. How has the growth been for NIC Bank in this area?
What we decided to do is to form a partnership with Post Bank. So we signed a partnership this year, and the idea is to use the branches for Post Bank across the country. They have more than 100 branches, countrywide. And this agency agreement which we signed with them, our customers will be able to do banking services across the country in those, I think, 107 branches. So that is very important for us because we don't have to spend money on brick and mortar. Now with technology, we can link up with Post Bank, and then our customer can be served in every corner of this country. So agency banking is actually the way to go.
What areas will you be focusing on the second half of the year to consolidate your returns as well as maximize on this strong performance?
First, obviously, we have to make sure that the companies we have established in the region are doing as well as NIC Kenya. Currently, I think the profits coming from the regional companies are about 10% of the group profits. Now, we'd like that to go to about 30% because that will help us diversify the sources of income. Then secondly, we also want to be very strong in the capital markets in addition to banking. That's why the companies we've set up in the capital markets, we've been putting a lot of emphasis, like NIC Capital, NIC Securities. And if you look at NIC Capital, for example, very big companies have come to us asking for advice to go either into the listing or raising capital through debt capital markets. So that area will also be very, very important for us. So regional and making sure that the regional companies within Kenya are very, very